Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ultimate YouTube channel. My name is Rosalie Elliott. I am a singer-songwriter. My master's is in counseling psychology, worked as a therapist and teacher, and I'm now here reviewing music from all around the world with you. And today, I want to check out a song by Rammstein. Yes, I'm from Germany, so I'm going to be listening to the lyrics in German, and we're going to talk about them and dive deep into what there is to know. I've reviewed a couple of their songs. They were heavy, they were intense. Ironically, even though I'm from Germany, Rammstein has never been my go-to band, even though I know they're world-renowned and loved by many. It's never a band I got into until through this channel. I reviewed a few of their songs. Then I had the honor of doing a collab with Heart Support. So be on the lookout for those videos where we dove deep into more Rammstein. And I was mind blown. But you have been asking me to check out Sonne.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Let me rewind it real quick. I think it's funny that the couple of songs I've heard, even though they're very powerful and deep, songs like Du hast, or this one now, starting with such basic German, I think is powerful and helpful, actually, and maybe one of the reasons that they're so beloved around the world, because even though they sing in German, and they're not trying to, show up in the American radio industry with a bunch of English-speaking songs, they're sticking to their language, but they're keeping it simple enough that you can learn a little bit of German in the process. Du hast 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, okay, cool. German 101.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Aus.
Why is this scene familiar to me?
Alle warten auf das Licht. Fürchtet euch nicht. Die Sonne scheint mir aus den Augen. Sie wird heute Nacht nicht untergehen. Und die Welt zählt laut bis 10. Auf das Gesicht. Sie wird heute Nacht nicht untergehen. Und die Welt zählt laut bis 10. Hier kommt die Sonne. 2. Hier kommt die Sonne. 3. Sie ist der
Was in aller Welt passiert hier? Mein Gott. Alter Feger, die spinnen die Römer. Nee, die Deutschen meine ich. These people are crazy. The Germans are crazy, I tell you. They have not all the cups in the cupboard. Die haben nicht alle Tassen im Schrank. Okay. Rammstein makes me uncomfortable, dude, from the videos to the music. But at the same time, they're so freaking talented. Oh my goodness. I love Till Lindemann's voice. That and the growl and the fullness and the timbre of his voice. It's so fitting and so unique. Voller Wiedererkennungswert. The whole band, the way they play together, the orchestral, operatic, angelic vocalization in the end just adds that crescendo and the dynamics to this piece of work. It's interesting to me how Rammstein's lyrics, when it comes to the literary art, the rhymes and the words they use are fairly straightforward. I mean, they literally started with counting to, what was it, 6, 7, 8? Or in Du hast, right? Simple phrases, simple rhymes, and yet they're so profound lyrically. And there's these double entendres. And it would seem that the lyrics are simple. Hier kommt die Sonne, right? Here comes the sun. Sie ist der hellste Stern von allen. She's the brightest star of them all, right? So on a surface level, it would appear, and then they're literally in the dark, in the mines, in the caves, drilling, waiting to break through. You would think to the sun, and they're mining, and all they're getting is the gold, and Snow White gets off on it. Snow White being a very famous German fairy tale. So a lot of interesting imagery here as a German band to bring in Snow White, but have a complete remake. I mean, Snow White just lost her dang mind, spanking the poor little dwarfs and getting high off on the gold that they're mining, and then dies in the bathtub. And that was interesting because it looked almost like she had overdosed. It wasn't so much, or was it from the apple? I mean, the dwarf was polishing the apple. The original story goes that the apple is poisoned. But here I thought I saw a needle and it looked like maybe she had OD'd on gold dust. And now, you know, she's dead and that last apple falls from the tree, breaks open the cave. So somewhat of a different story than what we know of the original fairy tale. But you know what I'm saying? Like, interesting as a German band to have these German phrases, to have a German fairy tale, to tie it all together, and still to be so much deeper. The musical composition, again, catchy, and that hook just gets stuck in your head, which makes for fantastic songwriting, to have a hook that everybody could just chant along to, even if they're not German speaking. Really brilliant, really well done in order to pull in a big crowd that gets it. Amazing composition, the rock, the intensity, but the lyrics, just this idea of personifying the sun and making it look like it is about the star, the sun that we're drilling for. We're waiting for the sun to come out, right? But at the same time, painting a picture with this Snow White, who they're slaving away for. And it's interesting because I could be wrong with my interpretations, okay, because I'm going to put my subjective lens on it, even as a German speaker. But to me, it made me think of different things. It made me think of this abusive relationship where you're slaving away. You're literally being spanked, punished, being enslaved by this person that's just using you. And you glorify her and you worship her, and you are working away to hoping something will break through, hoping you can get to the gold and the gold will appease and the sun will break through and you will be fine. And ultimately, you're just surrounded by death. And ironically, these dwarves are still around her casket, her glass casket, even after she did all the crap she did to them and completely abused and manipulated and played with them and used them. Now they're still mourning her, waiting for her to, you know, sticking around for when she comes back to life, and that she catches the apple, comes back to life, and they're back at digging in the mines. Nothing's changed. So to me, it makes me think of a abusive relationship where you're just completely enslaved to this person that does not have your best interest at heart, that, you know, may have some type of sexual lure, some type of attractive lure, some type of imbalance of power. She was obviously much bigger than them, and they are little dwarves compared to her. I mean, there's a whole lot of ways we could interpret that. Imbalance of power, the beauty, all the things that lure us in to keep us stuck in enabling someone, feeding them the drug, literally, metaphorically speaking. It also made me think it could look at politically, socially, where you have people that are going through the motion, and this could be for certain people groups and throughout history, people groups where we, as people, did things to appease somebody else, or where we were overpowered by somebody else and used and played. But even socially and anthropologically, I see parallels here to how even nowadays with social media, it's fitting still, this song, where we are easily led around like sheep, whatever is currently trending and whatever's currently shock value and currently talked about on the media or currently causing polarization. We'll talk about that and we'll fight over it and we'll blindly just go with whatever the distraction is and we'll get angry and focus on feeding that until it's time to talk about something else. And so I see parallels, I see ways to interpret this in different ways where we are waiting on that light. Alle warten auf das Licht. We're waiting for something to break through, for something to get better. Fürchtet euch nicht, die Sonne scheint mir aus den Augen. Don't be afraid, the sun is shining out of my eyes. It's interesting because they're clearly in the dark, these dwarves. They don't have light. But to say don't be afraid also makes me think of religious parallels where you have certain religions, and this could be what this song is actually about, maybe calling out religion where we are told by various religions and by those who claim to represent God, many of us are trying to figure out who and what it is, where many people who claim to represent God say things like, don't be afraid. I have the answers. I am the representative. The sun is coming out of my eyes. And the rest of the people are going, we're all waiting on that light. We're waiting for some type of peace, maybe for help with our economy, for a breakthrough with our health system. We're waiting on a breakthrough when it comes to money or employment situation, on a war or a war to end. We're waiting on, somebody up there, either religiously, spiritually, socially, politically, to break through and give us the light. We're waiting on it. And we're told, don't be afraid. The sun is shining out of my eyes. I've got the answers. And in this movie, in this music video, it's Snow White coming in and acting like she's here to save the day. Stark contrast to her colorful outfit and her beauty and her attraction compared to those little dwarves who are meager and exhausted and covered in coal. And covered in the dark, literally. 1, hier kommt die Sonne. 2, hier kommt die Sonne. 3, sie ist der hellste Stern von allen. 4, hier kommt die Sonne. So here comes the sun. And then it says, it shines out of my hands, right? First it's shining out of my eyes, now it's shining out of my hands. Kann verbrennen, kann euch blenden. And that's an interesting game here because it says the sun is the lightest star and it's presenting this picture of illumination. We're waiting on the light and on hope, maybe on freedom, liberation, whatever that could be. But now it says it can burn you, it can blind you. And the sun literally blinds us, literally burns us. But again, maybe here also this play on what happens when religions or religious leaders or political leaders or people in power, as Snow White was here with the dwarves clearly, blind us and they fool us. Wenn sie aus den Fäusten bricht. Okay, it went from the eyes, right? Look in my eyes. I've got the answers to now it's coming out of my hands, right? The hands that feed you, right? Where the dwarves were the ones polishing the apple for her. It could also be this person of power saying, look, I have the answers. Here's the food. Here's the money, right? That's how it often is in societies. Many of us just waiting for someone in power to feed us, right? This is on a micro level. We look for our parents. We look for loved ones. We look for someone to care for us, that we can trust. On a macro level in a society, we're waiting for the next president to fix the economy and fix these gas prices. And this person may be like, look, I have the sun coming out of my hands. But now the imagery switches. Wenn sie aus den Fäusten bricht, when it breaks out of the fists. The sun is going from the eyes to the hands to now, and that could be interesting too, when it's breaking out of the eyes, going from eyes to hands to fist. Is this maybe also this idea of I'm watching you? Because that's what a toxic, unhealthy relationship is a part of too. It doesn't always go straight to the fists. It starts with control, with Big Brother watching and controlling what you do, playing like they have something to give, and now they're starting to beat on you. It comes out of the fists. Leg sie heiß auf das Gesicht, hot on the face, which is interesting and fitting to the sun. Sie wird heute Nacht nicht untergehen. It won't go down tonight. And that's a gloomy, poetic picture to paint here. And, the sun won't go down tonight. The sun usually goes down at night. In this case, it won't go down. Maybe saying this will not end tonight. The suffering, the fist, the abuse, the toxicity will continue. Und die Welt zählt laut bis 10. And the world counts to 10 aloud. And that is interesting too, because is this basically saying we're all in it? The whole world is holding their breath, counting to 10, right? This countdown, we do that for New Year's. We do that in various situations where we're waiting for that next holiday. We're waiting for a new year. We're waiting for a new presidential election. We're waiting for God knows what. With religion, we're waiting for a Messiah to return. The world counts aloud, and we're all waiting for that. 1, hier kommt die Sonne, and then it tags, or it repeats, hier kommt die Sonne. 3, sie ist der hellste Stern, hier kommt die Sonne. And then that repeats again, and it keeps counting. 8, 9, hier kommt die Sonne, aus. And then it says off or out. Off is a better way to say it, I guess. Aus, as in like, it's over, done. it amazes me how they may start with such simple lyrics like counting to 8 or 9, but then blowing our minds with super deep lyrics. What do you think? What do you think of this song? Subscribe. Don't miss the next one. I'll see you on the next ride. Ayo!